Hi guys, good morning. Sorry about that, had some technical difficulties. Welcome to this morning's episode of C-SPAN, where we're talking about our seahorses today. So thank you to our special corporate partner, CIBC, and we have their logo in our tank today. And we thank you guys for your support of the Florida Aquarium during this time. So this morning, our seahorse guru, we have Shawn Garner here. Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
And he will be teaching us all about the seahorses that live at the Florida Aquarium.
Yes. Hi guys, my name's Shawn Garner. I'm a senior marine biologist here at the Florida Aquarium. I just want to thank you all for tuning in. We miss everyone so much. We miss our guests. But today, let's learn about seahorses, which are pretty much the coolest animal in the world. So, first off, we are going to learn about the ribbon pipe horse. This animal is really amazing. I mean, just look at it, how crazy it looks. What you're seeing is the little hairs on top of its head are called cirri, kind of like your phone Siri, but they're appendages that grow off of seahorses, pipefish, sea dragons that are used for camouflage. And you can see that one is really elaborate, and it's blending in with the algae that it lives around. Some really unique things about the ribbon pipe horse is that there are 2,000 to 3,000 year old cave drawings of this animal in Papua New Guinea. And Aboriginal people believe this is the creator of all life in the waterways. They call it the Waranara. And there's actual children's books written about this animal, and they call it the rainbow serpent in Australia, and how the rainbow serpent gave life to all the waterways in Australia. So it's a really unique animal. It's kind of a mix of a sea dragon, pipefish, and seahorse all together. We define it as a pipe horse. But you see it's moving through the current, looking for food items. That's the ribbon pipe horse. Let's move on to one more. We're just gonna go down the line in this awesome seahorse gallery and talk about each animal, and you guys can ask questions as well. All right, next up is the Pot-Bellied Seahorse. This is the largest seahorse in the world. It gets to be 1 foot in length. It's southern Australia, so it's really cold in here. It's 60-degree Fahrenheit water. You can see where they get their name, the pot-belly, because they have really large bellies. Now, you may think these are pregnant, but they are not. We keep males in this exhibit. We keep males because they have a lot of babies, so we only keep males at this time. If they were pregnant, that pot belly, that pouch, would be about 4 times larger than what it is right now. But huge seahorse, 1 foot, and the tail is very strong. It has a prehensile tail, which means it's articulated. It can move, it can grasp. If you look at the seahorse, you see that their fins are very small. They have most of the fins that a normal fish has, but they're really tiny. So sometimes it can be difficult to swim around in really strong current. So they use that prehensile tail to hold on to algae, corals, and even each other sometimes. Sometimes if you're at the aquarium and you see them, they'll hold on to each other, and they're just kind of playing around usually. So we'll move on to our next one, Hippocampus Yti, or the white seahorse. This is also what we call a coral triangle seahorse. It's Indo-Pacific area, so it lives around coral reefs. The temperature on these guys is about 74 to 76 Fahrenheit, so pretty much what we know around here in Florida. But a little bit smaller seahorse. These max out at about 3 inches, and you can see they're a little bit different colors too. So what's neat about seahorses is they can actually change their color based on what they're holding on to. They have chromatophores that open and close, and some seahorses can just change a little color, maybe from a black to a gray to a brown. But then there's some other seahorses. There's a Caribbean seahorse that can change bright yellows and oranges to blend in with like a really colorful coral or sponge. So it's pretty amazing. But these guys are just waking up today, And you see they're all holding on to their algae. It's pretty common that they like to sit around. Moving on. All right. So these are cousins. These are shrimp fish. These are also Indo-Pacific. These are relatives, pretty much cousins to seahorses. They have the same mouth structure as a seahorse. But what's really unique, I'm sure you obviously can tell, is that they are swimming upright. They are blending in with the algae that they live around. So they live around grass flats, and then they also live around corals. So when they swim like this, it's really hard for predators to find them. And they move in groups. Sometimes you'll see hundreds together, and when they do this, they can really kind of fake out a predator and look like grass or a gorgonian. So this is how they are at all times. This is a normal behavior.
So we have a question from Franz. He wants to know what these guys eat.
Okay, we are going to go over all the food, but what's really unique about seahorses, or the entire family called Cygnathidae, is that they lack a true stomach. They only have a gastrointestinal tract, but pretty much all these guys eat shrimp. So they live the good life. They eat shrimp all day. We feed up to 4 times a day because for some of these guys, it's in and out in a couple hours. So we have to feed multiple times a day. But we'll go over the food and I'll show you some of the food real soon. Okay, so another relative to the seahorse is the pipefish. Pipefish are evolutionary. They came before seahorses by about 60 million years. So you can see these guys, and these guys are definitely in coral reef areas, and you see how that tail is a false eye to kind of have predators. If they were to attack this pipefish, they would probably go for that really colorful tail first and not really injure the actual animal. Those are banded, and there's a couple other species in here. Really amazing. And you see that mouth structure is the same, the snout. The snout is the same for all these animals. That's why they're all in the same family. And then another one is some local boys and girls, Hippocampus Erectus. These are also, there's a couple names for them, but we just go with the scientific name because it's really easy to remember, and that's Hippocampus Erectus. These guys can be found in all the way north of Nova Scotia and then down to South America. We have a great population of Hippocampus Erectus in our Gulf. And yeah, you're seeing a little coral banded shrimp with them. So in our exhibits, we like to actually put other animals in with them to create an ecosystem, a natural occurring ecosystem. So the shrimp and the sea star, what they are called are detritivores. They actually eat organic matter that's fallen to the bottom of the ocean. And mostly what I'm talking about is seahorse poop. But they kind of create a natural ecosystem there. So you'll see the seahorses waking up, and we're going to feed these guys in just a minute. And this is a female. I didn't show the difference between a male and a female. The female, instead of having a pouch, it has an abrupt change, kind of like a cutoff to the tail, and there's no pouch there. So if you ever see a seahorse scuba diving or snorkeling, you can really easily tell a male from a female. So this is a female because it doesn't have that pouch, that fleshy area. The males have the pouch. And what's really, really most unique about seahorses is that the males have the babies. It's a true male birth. And when I say a true male birth, that means the female gives the male unfertilized eggs. He then fertilizes it and gestates the eggs for the full term. Now what's crazy about seahorses, in the springtime they start getting pregnant. And pregnancy can last anywhere from 10 to 14 days on up to 25, 26 days. And seahorses will get pregnant pretty much every month during the spring and summertime. So there's a lot of babies. All right, on to one of my favorites. All right, the Pygmy ponies of Florida. So the real name is Hippocampus zostrae, If you're at home, if you can say Hippocampus Yti, that'd be awesome. I can hear you, I swear. These are our little guys here in the Gulf. Their population is really good here in Florida. We have really healthy seagrasses outside of Tampa, Sarasota, and Venice, and they thrive in seagrasses. So they max out about 1 inch. You can see they're really, really small. Their babies are actually really, really small. Their babies are 3 millimeters, and they're just really amazing. I love these guys because most seahorses, when their babies are born, they're planktonic, which means they go with the flow. They just float in the ocean. They can't actually use their tail yet for about a week. The Hippocampus Yti, when the babies are born, they can use their tail the very first second they're born, and it's really amazing. They can direct their swimming pattern, and they know what predators are. They will actually swim away from predators the very first minute they're born. So I really love this species of seahorse, and we really try to protect our seagrasses here in Florida and around the world so that these animals can live and grow and have many babies, which coming up in the next month or so is breeding season. So we should get babies out of these species, and what we'll do is we'll actually give them to other zoos and aquariums that have these on display.
All right, and we are getting questions. Yes,
Okay.
That was the cruise ship in the background honking, saying good morning. So while the aquarium is closed, life is still happening around us.
So we always hear the cruise ships. They love to honk at people, and it's a nice wake-up call. Okay, so since we're still here at work, we're doing our daily job, we're keeping everything clean, and we're actually doing a lot of projects too, so we've had a lot of time to do projects. But what I'm going to show you is some of our food. So most of our food are shrimp. Let's see if I can light this up for you a little bit better. So we have frozen shrimp, and you maybe think it's kind of weird that I have a plastic fork. Well, we actually recycle our forks, and we use them to feed our animals, and we just keep them clean with bleach, and we actually reuse all of our plastic forks. So this is mysis shrimp. Most of this is farmed in Canada, and it's a really, really healthy shrimp. Has all the fatty acids, HUFAs, protein that the seahorses need. We do bump it up a little bit with vitamins, so the little bit of color that you see is vitamins. And then, so we feed most of our animals this 3 times a day, but then at the end of the day, we do live food, which is shrimp. So, this is our brine shrimp. So this is actually 2-day-old shrimp. We grow this shrimp. You guys know it as sea monkeys, but it's Artemia naupliae is the species, and we feed this to a lot of animals here. Our corals love this shrimp, our jellyfish love this shrimp, and our seahorse babies love this shrimp. So we're going to throw some of this into the Hippocampus Yti and see how much they eat. So what I'll do is I'll just pour some in, and then we'll go around front and kind of look. So you see all the little dots going into the exhibit. I mean, remember, those are living shrimp. So each zosterae will eat about 100 shrimp a day. Why I know that? Well, we will count it sometime. So we'll sit here and count how many shrimp each animal will eat, and that kind of keeps us aware how healthy our animals are, if they're getting enough food, enough nutrition. So no one's really sniffing it just yet. Okay, here's a little one. He's swimming around trying to look for it.
So we have a question from Bren. They would like to know if seahorses can change colors.
Yeah, seahorses can change colors. Some a little bit better than others. The best one, I think, is Hippocampus Yti. It's a Caribbean seahorse, and I've seen that seahorse be yellow, orange, even purple. It's pretty amazing, and that's energy expenditure for the seahorse. They have to use energy to change that color. We don't see it too much at zoos and aquariums. We'll see a little bit of color change, but if you dive, especially places like Belize and Curacao, you can really see some amazing seahorse colors. And I'm gonna get the other shrimp to feed the other exhibit. Okay, so we're going to feed the Erectus and the alligator pipefish. Okay, so what you're going to see, yep, you just saw it. You're going to see the animal suck the food up completely. So its snout is very fine-tuned for sucking in shrimp. It has a little trap door at the end, and it just opens that up, and you'll see the head kind of flick up. When they eat, there's actually a term called snick, and the snick is the speed and accuracy of how it eats. And we can really watch an animal, how accurate they are when capturing the food, how strong their snick is. So you look at them, their eyes can move all around. They're always looking for food. They're always looking for if there's predators chasing them. And that little head bump upward allows them to increase their striking distance 1 centimeter. So most seahorse and pipefish do not like to come off their algae or their corals. They're called lie in wait predators. So they just lie around, wait for food to come to them, and they can use that little head upward movement to snick animals about 1 centimeter, maybe up to 2 centimeters away. Ooh, yeah, we just got a nice piece. So remember, we do this with the frozen food about 3 times a day, and then we feed the live food. Some of the other live food we feed is adult brine shrimp. So you saw the baby brine shrimp, the adult brine shrimp, and then live mysids, which are actually collected here in Florida.
Alrighty guys, so one of our seahorses that we haven't really talked about yet are Leafy Sea Dragons. And some of our regular visitors may notice that these guys haven't been on habitat for a while, and Shawn has missed them very much.
Yes.
But we can actually give you a behind the scenes look at where our Leafy Sea Dragons are.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to show you guys our Leafys. We have them off exhibit because we're doing renovations on their exhibit now. So we're gonna take a little walk and go to their holding area. And once you see them, you're gonna be blown away. The Leafy Sea Dragon, there's only 3 species of sea dragons in the world. There's the leafy, the weedy, and a new species that was just discovered 2 years ago called the ruby sea dragon. And we've only seen it once or twice on video. But the leafy is an amazing animal. Its scientific name is Hippocampus Yti. So try to say that at home. It's even hard for me to say it. But it's a Southern Australia animal, again. So it's in really cold water, 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're walking in the back area now. So you get to see life in the back.
And there's the cruise ship, so there's the source of the sound that we heard earlier.
Yeah. We usually say hi and wave at them when they leave.
So you guys are getting a real behind the scenes tour. We're going into our quarantine area where animals come when they come into the aquarium, so they can be made sure that they are nice and healthy before they go on exhibit. And they can be some temporary habitat for animals like the leafies that we're about to see.
Okay, so we have a foot bath, so we always keep our feet clean, so we don't transfer anything into this area. And they're in this nice large holding area, and I just turn the air off for a second. And can you see them? I don't want to point them out. I want you guys to find them. Yeah, you guys can find them, right? They're in the back to the right. So those are 2 Leafy Sea Dragons. We actually don't know the sex just yet. I'm hoping we have a male and a female. But can you see their cirri, their fronds, their appendages that are growing? Leafies have the most amazing frond cirri pattern. The algae that grows in southern Australia looks just like a Leafy Sea Dragon, or you could say a Leafy Sea Dragon looks just like the algae that grows in Australia. So what they're doing right now is they're hunting. They're looking for food. I keep thousands of shrimp in this exhibit at all times. You can actually look through the window too if you want. These animals are actually the most expensive animals we have to feed at the Florida Aquarium. They eat about 1,000 shrimp a day. Each one eats about 1,000 shrimp a day, and each shrimp is 6 cents each. So it's a good amount, but man, these animals are amazing. No one's actually bred these yet. So we're working hard to see if we could ever breed them. In the past, we've had 2 times where there was an egg transfer, but we haven't gotten babies out of them yet. So that's about all I got to show you. I could talk for days on seahorses. I love them. We miss everyone coming to the aquarium. We can't wait till we reopen. It's going to be amazing. I want to thank CIBC for tuning in. Just have a great time. Enjoy your quarantine as best as you can. We'll see you when we open again.